Big Ten opener for the Wisconsin Badgers, and yeah, we're still getting used to saying it. You might be getting used to hearing it, as the Badgers with a conference game against USC out at the LA Coliseum. We'll check out some of the highlights from Saturday afternoon's game in Los Angeles. We'll sit down with Badgers defensive lineman Elijah Hills, a couple of sacks already in this early stage of the season, as well as inside linebacker Jahim Thomas, who started his career at Cincinnati, was at Arkansas last year, and now is a Wisconsin Badger. Of course, we'll have our weekly sit-down with head coach Luke Fickell talking about some of the freshmen who have seen the field already in 2024. All coming up on this week's edition of the Badger Sports Report.
Hauling slot to the left. As Locke takes a snap, pressure coming, they pick it up, and he'll loft it up, left side deep, and it's right in the bucket, caught at the 20, 10, 5, touchdown Wisconsin! Braden Locke right into the bucket to Vinny Anthony, and the Badgers with a fast answer to the early USC score. Punting south to north, that'd be my guess. Okay. It is today. The kick is away from Branch, and it goes through him. Did it hit him? That's the question. It's still loose. The Badgers pounce inside the 20-yard line. Wisconsin football. Here's Locke handing off left side, inside the 15. Walker to the 10. Walker to the 5. Walker to the end zone. Touchdown, Wisconsin. Tawee Walker from 18 yards away.
Set the standard. Set the standard. Let's go.
Ricardo Holman from one end of the yard to the other. Touchdown, Wisconsin, as the Badgers are back in the fight. Touchdown, Wisconsin. Shaz Malusi, 89 yards. And it's picked off by Hunter Waller. There is a big, big win for the Wisconsin Badgers.
The Badger Sports Report is presented by UW Health. UW Health Sports Medicine, treating the Badgers, treating you. And is brought to you by Construction Business Group, Wisconsin operating engineers and respected contractors, building Wisconsin together. And by Gruber Law Offices, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. One call, that's all.
This is a hallway. Doesn't evoke much feeling. But to those facing cancer or a complex condition, it feels like relief. Because all the doctors, treatments, and technology you've been fighting to find, they're all right here, under one roof, connected by hallways instead of highways. East Park Medical Center, coming soon. UW Health, remarkable.
At Gruber Law Offices, we take great pride in helping those who have trusted us after a serious accident. Our team has the knowledge, resources, and experience to get you the results you deserve. Don't wait to get the help you need. Make the right call. Call Gruber Law Offices today, proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. One call, that's all.
COVID-19 cases are on the rise, and peak flu season is almost here. Save time and get the updated COVID-19 vaccine and your flu shot at the same time at Hy-Vee. Schedule your updated COVID-19 vaccine and flu shot online today, or just stop by any Hy-Vee pharmacy whenever it's convenient for you. No appointment necessary. Plus, when you get your flu shot at Hy-Vee, earn a 20-cent fuel saver. Your Hy-Vee pharmacy is here to help you and your family stay healthy.
Clear your path to a great career today. Climb to reach your career potential with no loans and no debt, so you can earn while you learn. A Wisconsin Operating Engineer's Apprenticeship is your opportunity to work outdoors and get heavy equipment experience. Partner with your employer for serious pay, great health and pension benefits. Acquire real-world experience while building Wisconsin together. To start your career journey, visit join139.com today.
Already early this season, Badgers fans have had a chance to look at a handful of exciting freshmen, true freshmen, who have seen the field for the Wisconsin Badgers. And with that, we welcome in head coach Luke Fickell. You know, in our business, on the media side, we always talk about college football being 18 to 22-year-olds. Reality is it's probably 18 to 24. So they could be going up against, actual men here. But take us into the world a little bit, what it's like, especially for somebody like a Dylan Johnson on the defensive line, and we've seen Kevin Haywood get some reps on the offensive line.
Yeah, I think that's probably the most difficult spot, just because the nature of going up against 22, 23, 24-year-olds, the biggest change is sometimes the strength and the nature of that of a 17 or 18-year-old. Both of those guys of which have done a really good job. Dylan Johnson's probably played a little bit more and will continue to play a little bit more. Kevin is a little bit more in those situations that hopefully, guys stay healthy. It's not something where he's going to hopefully be thrown into the mix too much, but needless to say, they're there every single day. I think the most difficult thing for these young guys is being able to balance all that's going on, right? I mean, everything in their world is new. The game is new. The game is bigger. The game is tough. But college, all the things that they're having to go through are new within their life, and that takes a lot of energy, and it takes a lot of mental energy and physical energy. So for those guys to week in and week out continue to grow, I think takes something a little bit different than even the older guys.
That sounds a lot like what Coach Alvarez talked about here. The game itself is longer than it was at the high school level. The season is longer. We mentioned last week, this is not unprecedented but unusual to have 2 bye weeks. In some ways, can that maybe not be a bad thing? It allows those guys to, you can step back, hit a reset button, and then get ready for the next 3 or 4 game push.
I think it's even better for the young guys. You'd say the older guys because they're the guys that need they'll need a little bit more rest because of the wear and tear, but they also understand how to take care of themselves. They understand what a college season is like, and so bye weeks are good, but not as good as it is for some of those young guys to regroup a little bit, maybe gather their thoughts and recognize where they are and what they got to continue to do.
Another thing I've heard through the years, and I'd love to hear it from somebody actually involved in this, is that for a running back, a true freshman running back, it's a little bit more manageable. Now, you got guys with bad intentions who are bigger, stronger, faster than in high school, but is there truth to that? Like in this case, Darian Dupree, Dylan Johnson, because of the position they play, it's more realistic for those guys to see the field?
It is. I think that their nature, their natural abilities allow them to have a chance to play, both Darian and Dylan. At that position in particular, it's a very tough position, right? I mean, like nobody is going to take more shots than the running backs in today's game. Now, those guys are guys that are playing a little bit more sparing. They're not playing on an every day or every down basis. So I think it's not as difficult. Plus the nature of who they are, the things that they do, we're only going to highlight their strengths, right? You're Kevin Haywood or Dylan Johnson who's going to go in there and play in the trenches. Like, we can't just use you with your strengths. Well, we're only going to put you in on the edge when it's, a pass rush time. That's not the nature of those guys. So both are difficult. Both are different to manage. But I think that obviously the running backs, have a little bit greater opportunity to kind of grow throughout the entire year, too.
In some other sports, Luke, I've heard coaches say that an athlete is maybe less wide-eyed coming in than he used to be. Now, that's probably too general of a statement, but in certain instances, do you see that with freshmen? They come in respectful of the environment they're in, but not apt to be intimidated by it as much.
Yeah, I think that, sometimes they're more intimidated. All of a sudden they go to the weight room and see what some of the guys do and some of the workouts, but yet then they go on the football field and they recognize that they match up really well, and athletes are athletes, and some of that strength transitions onto the football field, but it's a lot of times more in the trenches. It's, over the wear and tear of a young guy's body. So that's why by nature I think those athletes do come in. And people would say, well, they're more confidence. No, by nature they're a little bit further along. They're a little bit more mature, their bodies and where they need to be. And so it gives them a greater opportunity when they walk in the door to just allow their strengths and their skill set to shine a little more.
I mentioned at the top, a lot of exciting young players fans have already had a chance to see. But because of the environment, the changing landscape, the term we use a lot in college athletics, are you more apt to get a freshman out there now than maybe you would have prior to this change?
I think it's twofold. I think you do, and that's where those athlete guys, they're by nature, they just need some of those opportunities. But you're still kind of balancing it, right? You're trying to figure out, okay, what's going to be the best in the long run for us and for them. And then how's that going to look by the end of the season, right? If it's guys that you really believe you're going to need by the end of the year, then your best bet is to get them in there early and find ways to get them in there early. But there's no perfect. Every guy's a little bit different. But I think with today's world and today's day and age, you need these guys. How many of them? You hope they're on a bunch. But they're going to see a lot more of them playing.
Less than a minute. We can't get into specifics because of NCAA rules, but a lot of the guys who have made verbal commitments, they're still like social media. They're still all in. They're enjoying their senior seasons, and it sounds like a lot of these guys are putting together really good final years of high school too.
They are, and that's the exciting part of it, right? I mean, is just continuing to find the guys who are going to come in here, who are going to fit the things you want to do, but have the ability to do the things that you want to do, and that's where we're talking about making plays, whether they're young or old guys. It still comes down to guys having the ability to do that, whether they're young or they're old. And there's a balance to that. That's ability, but that's also confidence level, because the game is fast and the game is tough. And if you can't play fast and tough, it's going to be really difficult.
All right, we will take a break. Badgers return to the home field on Saturday, taking on the Purdue Boilermakers. We'll have more as we continue with the Badger Sports Report.
We believe in education. We believe in public schools. At WEA Member Benefits, we believe in helping Wisconsin public school employees and their families achieve their financial goals by providing personal insurance, retirement and investment, and financial planning programs that are designed specifically for the education community. Proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics, WEAbenefits.com.
COVID-19 cases are on the rise, and peak flu season is almost here. Save time and get the updated COVID-19 vaccine and your flu shot at the same time at Hy-Vee. Schedule your updated COVID-19 vaccine and flu shot online today, or just stop by any Hy-Vee pharmacy whenever it's convenient for you. No appointment necessary. Plus, when you get your flu shot at Hy-Vee, earn a 20-cent fuel saver. Your Hy-Vee pharmacy is here to help you and your family stay healthy.
Newer members of the Wisconsin football program, and we're going to have another one right now out of Rockaway, New Jersey. Coming over here after a good career at Albany, now helping out the Wisconsin Badgers, Elijah Hills. First off, congratulations as we talk. You have a couple of sacks under your belt already. Tell us, how'd that first one feel? It had to be a great moment for you.
Yeah, it felt too surreal, you know. It's like one of those things that you dream about and you pray about. So for it to come all into fruition, it was pretty remarkable.
I was looking at your information when you had committed here. I'm thinking that with Albany, you were in the FCS playoffs, a 15-game season, which can happen now at this level with the 12-team playoff. Tell us what that was like. How did your body feel when you got to game 13, 14, and then 15? How did you hold up?
Yeah, so there's obviously wear and tear and stuff like that, but when you're on a streak and you guys are feeling hot and, you know, the momentum and the emotions are high, it's easy to keep going. You know, you got a lot of brothers on the team, so you lean on each other and you keep pushing for each other because you really want to make it to the top.
Playoff football is a new thing here at this level, so sounds like you enjoyed every second of it at Albany, right?
Yes, for sure.
Now coming here, making the decision, it sounds like it was a true whirlwind. Take us through that, because you weren't here very long, but you just felt right.
Yeah, so I took a bunch of visits. Like, I took them all in a row. Like, I never really stayed at a spot for more than one day. I was waking up like 4 a.m., 5 a.m. for flights the next day. And Wisconsin got into the picture late, and they're like, you know, we got that one last day. We're not even supposed to be here. Like, we're about to fly out into a coaching convention, but this is the last possible day. And I gave them a chance, and Wisconsin being who they are, I gave them a chance, and I fell in love with the school, with just being here and exactly what they told me, the schedule, and, you know, I just wanted to persevere and go through something, so I came here.
So who they are about Wisconsin, us old folks have an idea, but what was it about the players, coaches, what jumped out to you? Because you might have been a little bit tired here, but something got your attention here.
It was the development for sure. You know, they promised me that they'd be able to develop me into a good player, and not only that, just, you know, my body, and that's what I really needed, was a program that was able to do that and get me to a level where I can compete at the highest level.
You know, talking with Ben Barton, and when I hear from some of your teammates on the defensive line too, sounds like Coach Whitlow, he wants you guys, I think the term is, you know, shoot your shot. Mm-hmm. You know, there's certain instances where statistics can be deceiving, but it sounds like Coach Whitlow, if it's there, go get it. Don't lay back. Don't worry about the linebackers. Go make the play yourself.
Yeah. It's about being a football player, not football. So, you know, if you see some, go get it. You know, like, we're here for a reason, and if you can make plays, you got to go do it.
Tell me about your line mates. I mentioned Ben Barton. Obviously, you got Cade McDonald, you got Kurt Neal, all that group. How have you guys blended together here?
You know, with Coach Whit being our coach, you know, we really focus on being like our tenacity and just being strong. And so, like, we lean on each other, we watch each other, you know, we push each other, and we motivate each other as well. So it's just easy, like seeing those guys. You know, those guys go, and when I first got here, watching them go, I was like, I need to get to their level and then keep going. So that was what I was able to do with those guys.
And you had mentioned a couple of minutes ago the schedule. You're talking about the actual schedule itself, the opponents that you get to play here. That got your attention pretty quickly.
Yeah, it's hard to beat. And when they promised that they would develop me into a player that can go against those teams and match up well, I knew that this was the place to come.
Sounds like you got comfortable pretty quickly here. There was the commitment, obviously, back in January. But tell us what your summer was like here, just going through the workouts with Coach Brady. To say this guy's high energy would be an understatement.
Yeah.
But take us through that for us.
It was definitely a huge adjustment. You know, they kicked my butt when I first got here, and, you know, guys looking around like, dude, this guy got to get it together. But, you know, I committed to the program, to the coaching staff, and believed in the training staff, and I went after it, and I had to just keep going and just getting better and being able to be a part of the weight room culture and get used to it. And, you know, me buying in, I was able to put on a lot of muscle and put on some weight. So, you know, I'm thankful for these guys. They really got me to where I am right now.
And when that happens, I've talked to enough guys, if it's this sport, basketball, whatever, that once you can start to see the results, you look in the mirror and go, okay, this looks a little different. That's a motivator in and of itself, right?
For sure.
What about the summertime? Summertime in Madison, you get a chance to get out and explore it all a little bit?
Yeah, it was awesome. You know, we take some trips out with, like, the position groups, different coaches. We go on boats and stuff. You know, we went golfing where you hit it off the little platform. And,
sure.
You know, we had a lot of fun this summer. We came out, we went out as a group, and, you know, we had a lot of fun in Madison.
Now, do you get on a real golf course? Do you go play at all?
No.
Okay,
no.
good.
I just like swinging real hard.
Yeah, it's like kind of maybe myself. I don't, and that doesn't go really far as well. Your group, just from a football standpoint, I think Ben has talked about this, Ben Barton, that you guys feel like you can rotate a lot of guys in there. And I would imagine that's huge to stay fresh when you get to the fourth quarter.
Yeah, for sure. You know, being able to have a bunch of guys that you can trust and go in and handle the job. And then when it gets late into the game, we're still fresh and able to go against those linemen who are going to be tired. You know, that's a huge, huge advantage, especially pass rush and downs where, you know, they got to hold the blocks for a little longer so the quarterback can stay in there.
Final thought. You mentioned the schedule is something that's really attractive. And this is not to show lack of respect to anybody else that you've played, but when you look at the bigger games, what fans view as the bigger games, is there a different vibe with you guys during the course of the week? If it's this week's game or what lies ahead as you look into October and November, but that first time around, is there just a little bit of a different vibe?
I would say no. Like what Coach Whitlow says, we're always focused on us, you know, and we're always focused on us getting better and making sure that we're doing our techniques and doing what we're supposed to, staying square and all that. So if we worry about us and do what we're supposed to, the opponent doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's always that line, don't make any game bigger than it is, right? Right. Well, welcome to Madison.
Thank you so much.
Many more sacks in your future, we hope.
Yes,
this is
sir.
Elijah Hills, part of that Badgers defensive line. We'll take a break, more to come as we continue with the Badgers Sports Report.
At Gruber Law Offices, we take great pride in helping those who have trusted us after a serious accident. Our team has the knowledge, resources, and experience to get you the results you deserve. Don't wait to get the help you need. Make the right call. Call Gruber Law Offices today, proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. One call, that's all.
This is a hallway. Doesn't evoke much feeling. But to those facing cancer or a complex condition, it feels like relief. Because all the doctors, treatments, and technology you've been fighting to find, they're all right here, under one roof, connected by hallways instead of highways. East Park Medical Center, coming soon. UW Health, remarkable.
It's always interesting when you see guys come into the program, particularly those who are familiar with second-year head coach Luke Fickell and defensive coordinator Mike Trussell. Speaking now about Jahim Thomas, linebacker out of Cincinnati, Ohio. Was a Bearcat, a Razorback, and now a Wisconsin Badger. Give us an idea of how you have acclimated here, being involved in spring ball, obviously the spring semester here, and now in the fall, your first fall here in Madison. How has everything on and off the field gone for you?
It's been going really well. The guys that brought me in with welcome arms. So, just being around all the leaders of the team, being around the guys of the team in the locker room, it's really been a no-brainer. It's been easy to get acclimated during the spring, I had little bit familiar with the defense. A couple things changed, so had to get in the playbook, had to get in the film study, had to get with the coaches, and then fall, we've just been up and running, so I've been enjoying it for sure.
I was just going to touch on that because normally when somebody comes in via the transfer portal, there's a lot of things that are different, the terminology and all that, but the familiarity with Coach Tressel and all that was a big help for you, I would think.
It definitely was, big help. A lot of the same terminology. Like I said, a couple of things changed, but, a lot of the same terminology, so it was something I enjoyed. It was easy to, get acclimated.
Similar or different than the defense you were in last year down at Arkansas?
Definitely different, I would say, I'm up on the edge a whole lot more, so I had to get back acclimated to that as well, so I would say a little bit different for sure.
You may have partially answered my next question, but what's your favorite part about being a linebacker in a Coach Tressel, Coach Fickell kind of defense?
It's aggressive defense, downhill, always downhill, always got to have a nose for the ball, you get through a lot of different things, like come off the edge, be in cover, so that's one thing I like. You can do a lot of different things and show versatility.
That's what fans who are really paying close attention will notice about you. You will move around a lot. You're comfortable doing that, apparently, right?
Yeah, definitely comfortable.
Tell us about the group, the position group. You got Jake Chaney, there's Tackett Curtis, there's Christian Allegro, and there are many others, and then guys on the edge. Yeah. How good do you guys think you can be defensively?
We can be really good, really good. It's a lot of guys that can play, rotate, a lot of guys that can come in and be a starter. So, I feel like if we all just talk to each other, tell each other like what's going on the field, have a lot of film study, keep a good bond, we can be really good as a defense.
I was asking a couple other guys who came up here from Cincinnati, if it was Jake Renfro last year, Will Pauling, whoever it was. Some of the other guys would ask them, hey, what's Coach Fickell like? What's Coach Tressel like? And now you were obviously at UC and then at Arkansas. But as you came here, were guys asking you that question too? Like, hey, what's this all about over here with Coach Fick?
Yeah, definitely.
And then how do you answer that?
Like intense, going to get out there. At the end of the day, he's gonna love you. When we off the field, but when we on the field, intense. Going to get out there, hard-nosed coach. Something that we like.
Well, you've been in big environments, obviously. You played in the SEC, obviously in Cincinnati, but the thoughts of coming out of the tunnel at Camp Randall Stadium's got to be pretty fun, too.
Can't wait, man. Definitely can't wait. Get to see the Big Ten, get to see how Wisconsin is, how the game play, how the game environment is. So I've never experienced it when I was in high school, so that'd be something I'm really, really intrigued to see.
All right, fans are going to enjoy seeing Jahim Thomas as well, number 7 linebacker for the Wisconsin Badgers. Take a break. We'll have more to come as we continue with the Badger Sports Report.
Clear your path to a great career today. Climb to reach your career potential with no loans and no debt, so you can earn while you learn. A Wisconsin Operating Engineer's Apprenticeship is your opportunity to work outdoors and get heavy equipment experience. Partner with your employer for serious pay, great health and pension benefits. Acquire real-world experience while building Wisconsin together. To start your career journey, visit join139.com today.
We believe in education. We believe in public schools. At WEA Member Benefits, we believe in helping Wisconsin public school employees and their families achieve their financial goals by providing personal insurance, retirement and investment, and financial planning programs that are designed specifically for the education community. Proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics, WEAbenefits.com.
The Badger Sports Report is presented by UW Health. UW Health Sports Medicine, treating the Badgers, treating you. And is brought to you by Construction Business Group, Wisconsin operating engineers and respected contractors, building Wisconsin together. And by Gruber Law Offices, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. One call, that's all.
This was the standout moment in the second half. Aaron Connolly with a goal line clearance for the ages.
Yeah, absolute play of the game, and what defined this back line and this defense of Wisconsin. Just pure grit and effort. And it's a Sophia Cook opportunity and chance on the shot. Aaron Connolly said, no, not tonight.
Badgers still got time left. Harvey giving it up. There's Sims again. Sims looking for an opening. Instead dropping it off. Down low. It's led to the crease. A shot to score! Goal number 1 for Layla Edwards.
Edwards, Harvey, fires, scores. The floodgates have opened up here in Madison.
Off the top of the tape, Ojo dives forward on serve receive. Here's Robinson slamming it down cross court to end the match tonight. And it's the first Big Ten win of the season for Wisconsin as the Badgers knock out Northwestern.
The Badgers come back to Camp Randall Stadium as we turn the calendar to October, and Wisconsin with a home matchup against the Purdue Boilermakers. We'll talk to you next week. Thanks for watching.
This is a hallway. Doesn't evoke much feeling. But to those facing cancer or a complex condition, it feels like relief. Because all the doctors, treatments, and technology you've been fighting to find, they're all right here, under one roof, connected by hallways instead of highways. East Park Medical Center, coming soon. UW Health, remarkable.
At Gruber Law Offices, we take great pride in helping those who have trusted us after a serious accident. Our team has the knowledge, resources, and experience to get you the results you deserve. Don't wait to get the help you need. Make the right call. Call Gruber Law Offices today, proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. One call, that's all.
COVID-19 cases are on the rise, and peak flu season is almost here. Save time and get the updated COVID-19 vaccine and your flu shot at the same time at Hy-Vee. Schedule your updated COVID-19 vaccine and flu shot online today, or just stop by any Hy-Vee pharmacy whenever it's convenient for you. No appointment necessary. Plus, when you get your flu shot at Hy-Vee, earn a 20-cent fuel saver. Your Hy-Vee pharmacy is here to help you and your family stay healthy.